What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about something that all of you can relate to if you've ever been in a long-term relationship at some point in your life, or maybe you talked to a girl and it was getting to that point, but you felt like something was off. And it's just like a gut instinct that a lot of you guys, I'm sure, have dealt with. And now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you've probably grown out of that mindset, or you've watched similar content to the content we produce here. You know, this is something that as an average guy that is clueless, that doesn't have access to this information, it can drive you absolutely insane dealing with women. And we all can relate to this. So today I'm repping the shirt, "A Sim Took My Girl," and then on the back it says, "But it's okay." I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're going to be talking about why I'm wearing that shirt, because it relates to the subreddit. Yes, guys, sometimes I'm a dirty pleb and I go down the subreddits on Reddit sometimes. But I saw 2 days ago on the subreddit advice something that I thought you guys would find interesting. It's a story, so I'm not going to waste any more time. We're going to dive into it. The title of the subreddit, and I think a lot of you guys can relate to this, is "I think my girlfriend cheated on me last night." So I'll try to post this on the screen so you guys can follow along as I read it. So he goes on and says, "New to this, need some outside opinions." And mind you guys, most people on Reddit are blue pill betas, and they're unaware of the information that we talk about here on this channel as high value men that are aware of the social dynamics between men and women, and how, what I've talked about multiple times on this channel, you need to really listen to that gut instinct that you have about a woman or a situation when dealing with a woman. And no matter what a stranger says online, that gut instinct that you have, that feeling of your stomach turning on the inside out because something just doesn't seem right, is something that a lot of guys, we brush under the rug, because we almost want to paint a picture with a beautiful paintbrush that doesn't exist, which is, we don't want to believe that the girl that we're talking to or the girl that we're dating could be potentially fooling around on us. So we back that up using our RAS, or our reticular activation system, which we've talked about, which is selective focus, to focus on the reasons why this couldn't be true. When a lot of times your gut is not lying to you, okay? Humans, we've evolved that feeling, that natural instinct, to alert us to danger and lying and deception. And if you've been cheated on multiple times, raise your hand. You can quickly and accurately usually base the relationship or the situation you're dealing with on that feeling and that instinct, because your body's now hypersensitive and aware of when someone's lying to you. It just comes naturally over time. Okay, so he goes on and says, "My girlfriend and I work the same job and have the same friends. I left work early and she stayed until close." And he puts in quotations, "bartenders." So they either work at a club or a restaurant, and that's strike number one. Dating a girl that's a bartender or works in that sort of food industry environment, I've talked about it multiple times on this channel. Those girls are temporary, man. I mean, most girls in general, it's going to be a temporary relationship, especially when you're young, but especially girls that, bartenders in particular, they have to use their sexuality to make money off of the simps, to make tips. So the industry, the line of work she's chosen to do, specializes, or encourages her, I should say, to pursue the path of seduction to garner more tips, which makes sense. If you were a hot chick working at a bar, you'd probably do the same thing. So it only makes sense. But understand that when you're dating girls that are bartenders, they're constantly getting hit on. Not only just by the guys that they're serving alcoholic drinks to that are getting more drunk and more flirtatious, and she understands that the more flirtation that she engages in, the higher her tips will be. but the people that also work behind the bar backs that are there with her. A lot of these guys, I'm gonna be honest, they're alphas. They might not be alpha in the business sense, but a lot of these guys are kind of like burnouts, and they have nothing really to lose. They just hit the gym, they go to work, and they party. They're the fun guys. They're trapped in that cycle of being the fun guy. And to have a girl that's constantly around that environment, it's only a matter of time. I'll just put it that way. So I asked her when I'm seeing her after work. So I guess he got off early, and he's asking his girlfriend, who's a bartender, when he'll see her after work. She said she'd like a night to herself. And he says, which is okay. Go, all right. She asked for a night for herself while closing, which he says is okay. Then she decides to go out to the bar with my friend. I hope that was a female friend, not a male friend that she wanted to go to the bar with after work, even though she's a bartender. Boy, oh boy, just listen. And I have her location on. Around 1:30, she said she got home, and she did. She said goodnight, and that's it. But something was playing in my mind. Like I said, as a guy that's been through this, the wheels start turning in your mind, because why did she want to have a night to herself? Why is she going to get drinks if she's already a bartender after work with, I'm assuming, a male friend that's your friend without you? It's boy, oh boy. Around something's playing in my mind, so I checked her location at 2-ish, and she wasn't in her flat. She was in her apartment complex, but not in her flat. The location is very precise. So I started freaking out that she lied to me about going to sleep. I frantically call and text. She doesn't pick up once. Oh boy. I called my friend who she said she was with, and he didn't pick up either. I saw her little icon walk back to her flat. She gets really defensive when I show her the difference in location through the screenshots, and is outraged that I'd accuse her of such a thing. If I call late at night, she will respond immediately, drunk or not. So this breaks the pattern of her normal behavior. I don't know what to do. I'm going to see her in person later, but I don't know what to think. I'll just start right there, stop the thing, and tell you, you got to listen to that gut instinct, okay? And there's guys in the comments that are like, well, the location isn't precise, and, sometimes my location will show that I'm somewhere that I'm not, and it looks like I'm walking around. And yeah, I've experienced that as well, but this breaks the pattern of her normal behavior, that she usually checks in with you, or at least says something when you call her, at least picks up the phone, which girls can still answer the phone and be with another guy. And because the other guy wants to get laid, and this is the dark truth, okay? He'll sit there quietly in the back seat with her, and he won't say a word. You'll FaceTime her. I'm in bed, it's really dark. She'll lean up against I don't want to make you guys really paranoid or anything. I wouldn't say, I'll say this is more common than it isn't, but it's not like every girl is like this. You can FaceTime a girl if you're a guy that's accusing a woman of cheating on you, and there could be another guy in the backseat with her. He will be quiet throughout the phone call, throughout the FaceTime. She will look like she's in bed because it's dark in the backseat. Turn off all the lights, and she'll say goodnight to you. She'll tell you, goodnight, honey bear, boo boo, I love you. She'll hang up the phone, and she'll get right back on her knees, get right back to work on the other guy. Trust me when I tell you, I know, because I've been either that other guy in the backseat with her, and I've also been the boyfriend calling that this is a real thing. I've also had guy friends, because I was an athlete growing up, that have literally been with a chick while she's on the phone with her boyfriend right before they take her to PT, Pound Town. Okay, so all this talk about like, well, like, you know, you don't want to listen to that gut instinct. It's BS. Throw it out the window. If a woman's going to cheat on you, she's going to cheat on you. You're not going to know. It's 2025. And I tell guys all the time, you know what? It's better to not even be in a relationship if you're going to be stressing and paranoid about looking at her location like this, especially if she's a bartender, especially if, you know, this is something where she's constantly wanting nights to herself, where she doesn't want you around. I know this is like a one-time thing, it sounds like, but even that by itself, where she wants space and she's going out with a guy friend without you till 1:30 and beyond in the morning and not picking up her phone, and her location's moving around. Your guy friend's not picking up his phone. He's not telling you like the details of what's going on. First of all, it shouldn't even got to that point. Okay, that's not your real friend as a guy. That guy is plotting for sure on your girl. Like who? I've never been in a friendship with a guy where I've wanted to hang out with his girl with my homie not around, especially that late in the night while she's drinking, going to a bar with her. It's just like, it doesn't make sense at all. Like, is he a gay friend or something? Like, if he's not, like, let's just put two and two together here. This is not rocket science, okay? And I know the feeling, because you don't want to believe that your girl could be doing this. But it's 2025, like I said. Stressing, worrying, just reminiscing about, ruminating over, what is she doing? Not answering her phone. Why is she? You're constantly checking her location, and you're constantly just worried about where she is and what's up with her. That stuff's going to derail you from what you need to be doing in your life. And it sounds like a young guy talking about this. You know, you're missing sleep. You're missing productivity that you could have the next morning, the next day, worried about some bartender 304 that's spending time with your homie. And that's a quick way to get behind on a lot of things that you need to be focusing on when you're young, when you have energy. So I'm going to tell you, as an older brother, as someone that makes videos for men, if you're watching this video somehow gets around to you, you're dealing with something like this, in a similar situation, you're in a relationship where you're constantly checking up on the girl you're talking to, and you don't trust her, you got to cut it. All right? Like the Young Dolph song, or OT Genesis. You got to cut it, right? Cut it, cut it, cut it. Because if you don't cut it, your life goals and your purpose going to get cut. Because you're just going to be focused on pouring your energy into someone that clearly is immature and is cheating on you and wasting your time. So let's talk about why I'm wearing this shirt. A simp stole my girl, but it's okay. The reason I'm wearing this shirt is because I've been in a situation very similar to this. I can talk about this in a later video, but to give you the overall just breakdown of what happened, this girl was also a bartender slash server. We worked at the same restaurant, and we weren't ever official, but we would talk. And I guess while we were talking, she ended up catching a simp, all right, or a guy that actually wanted to take her seriously. And our communication started to falter. You know, she wasn't picking up as much. I could kind of tell another guy was in the mix somewhere. But did that necessarily stop her from hooking up with me on lunch breaks or staying after work late and spending time with me? And mind you, I had no idea, because she never posted this guy on her social medias or anything. I just assumed that another guy came into the picture because, you know, her level of communication that she had before, when I assumed she was with no one else, started to drop off slowly. So I could pick up on those things. And that guy even, like, you know, he ended up, I called her one day to hang out, and he caught wind of this. and he went off on he DM'd me and was basically like, you know what, like, you work this job here, like, kind of like you're a loser, like she wouldn't want to be with you. She's with me now, all this BS, all right, as if, whatever job he was doing was a security blanket when this girl was literally just fun for me and we were just having a good time and he's trying to court her. So this guy ends up coming in to work with her eventually. We're still seeing each other, okay? We're still talking at least. And every time I see this guy, and he knows who I am, he knows what I look like, he didn't say a word to me. He didn't even look me in the eye. Very passive. And she saw this. She noticed that, you know what, in person, this guy who I'm talking to, this beta, who's coming in, following me to work now because he's paranoid about me potentially talking to other guys, literally feels like he has to go in and show face at the job site, and he can talk stuff on the internet behind the scenes. When it comes to face-to-face confrontation where he could really lay into me or at least confront me in person, he wasn't about that life, okay? He wasn't about that life. And that just shows you right there that you'll never know. And even if you do know, I'm sure he had an idea of what was going on. He's not going to do anything about it because he's a weak man. So I don't want you to be on the other side of that coin, okay? On the flip side, where you're that guy that's paranoid, having to feel like you have to be a PI and private investigation, follow around your girlfriend or the girl you're talking to and see her coworkers and look at her location constantly. That's no way to live life. All right, that's going to burn you out. It's going to make you tired. You're not going to be able to have energy to focus on what needs to be done. And it's just going to drive you absolutely insane. So the moral of the story is, don't be that guy. Don't be weak. Cut a girl off if she's turning your stomach and making you question yourself, making you seem crazy. And I would listen to that gut instinct as a man, because more oftentimes than not, that gut instinct, when you feel like something isn't right, when you feel like a woman might be cheating on you, even if she isn't, that alone is going to waste so much mental capital and take you away from what needs to be done as a man. And as a man, we don't have the same privilege as women in terms of making resources back. Yes, we can get another job and we can make a career shift and all of these things, but it's much easier for women to pick back up because there's so many simps out there that are willing to, fund her lifestyle. As a man, you don't have that privilege. So just really think about, is this girl worth the mental capital that I'm taking out of my mind to focus on what she's doing? Or could I just be by myself, focus on what needs to be done, and not have to worry about someone else running behind my back and wasting my time? Think about that, okay? I love you all. Drop a like on this video to get more people to see this type of content. And if you like this content, you want to stick around for more, hit that subscribe button. Have a blessed rest of your day. Peace. I'm gone.